So what are we going to do here? I will quickly talk a bit about myself, why I'm doing that talk, so what qualifies me to talk about these topics. And then we'll start with the key takeaways, and then we jump into medias res. So what is data value generation? How to use artificial intelligence, BI, and all this stuff to really create value for your business. So let's start. So quickly about me, I'm coming from a more technical background, So I've been working in data value generation for the last 15 years. And during that time, the last 8 years, I've been working in consultancy. And so I was basically the guy who was developing algorithms for customers. You call it AI nowadays, I call it mathematics. Basically, the core of all data value generation is how you transform the data you have in your company to insights which you can basically then use to create value. And that's actually the core of the talk, data value generation. It's not about algorithms, technology, it's nice, but at the end of the day, the industry, the companies, want to see a return of invest. They want to make processes more efficient. They want to generate new revenue streams, etc. I do not want to talk too much about the company I work for. It's called Inform. We are based in Aachen. I have around 900 colleagues, and originally we come from a software development context. So we develop software for businesses in the area of operations research and artificial intelligence. In addition to that, we have a center of excellence where we consult industry how to leverage data for themselves. And that's why I'm standing here in that role. I'm part of that team. I put the slides in here for you if you're interested, because you can download it later from the website. So let's start with the end of the presentation. So what are the key takeaways? If you fall asleep, these are the things maybe you should remember. In 21, today, we still see from our experience a lot of companies are having real trouble to transform the data asset they have into really benefit for the businesses. From our belief is that we know the solution to that problem is you do not have to solely focus on technology. Yes, I'm a geek, I like my algorithms and it's really the fun stuff, but this is not bringing companies forward. So we believe that's about people in the first place. It's then about data, and also about processes. At the very end, here we have technology. And the point 3 is basically part of point 2. You say, if you focus on technology only, and I put that here on purpose because that's a typical mistake. We see so many clients who believe that buying a tool, buying a software solution will solve their business problems they have. And we believe that's wrong. So this is bad news, but there are some best practices, and that's what I would like to share today here, our experience in that area, how we believe organizations should address these challenges. So, I already said there were some buzzwords in the title, so let's clarify the buzzword bingo here. So it's all about digital transformation. However, you hear about digital transformation in society, in schools, politics, and so on. But in the very core of the digital transformation for businesses is a data value transformation. How companies leverage the data they have to create business value. Some literature, they refer to that as data transformation. And we believe that's a very secret sauce you need to understand in order to be successful in a data-driven world. So I talked about challenges companies are facing. And we have a lot of customers from small companies, Mittelstand, up to very large enterprises. And here are some examples where they have challenges. And believe me, nearly, I do not know any company which is not facing any problem there. If you have a very big enterprise, they're also facing problems, even if it's just a lack of talent or skill where we can support. But in the end, the kind of problems they face depends on how far they have progressed in their data journey. Yeah, we call it data maturity. How mature is the organization with respect to leveraging data? There are some examples what we hear from customers. Lack of data competencies. Data quality. Is anybody here who can really say they do not face a data quality problem in their organization? Please let me know. I would like to talk to you because every company has this problem. And I come back to that later. Companies acknowledge, oh, the topic is quite complex. We do not really understand how to tackle and address that. That's my favorite. I once, a very large German company, a business leader, for which I was working as a consultant, he said he does not believe in machine learning. That's a bold statement, isn't it? I mean as a mathematician, it's machine learnings are algorithms, it's math. It's not a religion. But this shows you the core of the problem. Culture, lack of understanding. Yeah? How can you as a business leader say that? What do you think as employees? So these are the real problems. So small companies, they often ask, okay, I do not even know, should I invest? Even in 21, think about it. Everybody, I thought we're talking about the topic since 20 years. I thought people have understood that, but no, there are still companies that need a return of invest. Let me, we talked yesterday with my colleague about, data is the new oil, the new gold. It's like, there's one statement I totally agree with. Data as an asset, yeah? And this is not a metaphor. So every company, or let's say, most companies acknowledge that human resources skills is the most important asset. The most important asset they have. So nearly every company has an HR department. So if you acknowledge, it's not a metaphor, data is an asset, so where's your data department? And it's not the task of IT to do that, they have other problems and challenges. So data value generation, I quickly want to go through that. I think we all here, we know what do you want to achieve with data. You want to do decision making, we have heard about that today. Not the hippo culture, the highest paid person's opinion, but you want to do decisions based on facts. And this across all hierarchy levels, not only management, but also the marketing department. Not only the head of marketing with controlling, but also the members of staff who challenge the marketing effectiveness, for instance. You want to save costs, you want to do automation. We have heard process automation, RPA, but also all these AI use cases where you can make things more efficient, where you can save costs. So you free your staff so they can actually work on the things they are employed to do and not doing the boring tasks. And the high art of that, develop no new business models. Yeah? It's not always about directly selling data. Many companies do not have data assets to sell, but they can create new services based on the data they have. So the challenge is culture. Come to that back later. And I think data literacy is the biggest problem we are facing today. Lack of talent, capabilities, quite a thing. Data as an asset. Really, really treat it then as an asset. Yeah, and not as garbage sometimes, if you get the impression. And the very bottom, there are data platforms tools. We saw this talk just before. A great tool, but it's more than implementing a tool to solve the problems, and that's what I want to focus on. So what's the secret sauce? So a lot of people talking about a data strategy at the end of the day, and I quickly want to use that slide. I think in 10 years' time, this data strategy buzzword will slowly vanish, or hopefully it will, because actually it's about company strategy, and this should be part of a corporate strategy. Yeah. So, but why are we talking about that today? Because yes, you have IT strategies, you have functions with strategies, and so on. This is tackled, but data strategy hasn't arrived yet in the board. Yeah. So we have to tackle the problem individually, but when you do that, you have to be very careful. It's not a standalone thing. You have to align your strategy. What do you want to do with the data? The business, it's all about the business. So what is the business trying to achieve? What is the objective? And how can you use data to improve and or help the company to achieve these goals? So this is something we very often discuss with customers. Yeah, that's where I'm coming from. Yeah, you have technology, algorithms, tool. That's my world. But this is only a very smart part of the solution. And I don't know if you have the same impression. A couple of years ago, when let's say 10 years ago, companies tended to hire a data scientist. Here's our database, our data. How can we create value? It's not the way that works. It can be a BI analyst. The bottom line of this slide is, if you really want to have sustainable data value generation in your company, that's a transformation program, like a business transformation program, addressing all these dimensions you can see here. I've talked about skills. I have talked about culture today as well. We talked about the gap between, in the Pepsi Coke talk, about the gap between business and the specialist, I think. Yeah, that's exactly the core you need to address. Yeah, you need to have people understand the business and develop solutions which help them, and not just simply do some AI because so fancy. We just heard about way of working, fail fast, agile working. These are as a data scientist, it's a very iterative job sometimes to develop insight and so on. So it's a natural way of working. And we have a lot of topics around data, which I do not want to go into right now. So we heard about the why, we heard about the what. So what's the secret sauce at the end of the day? And this is not written in stone. That's our opinion. Yeah, people might have different opinions or different approaches. Let's argue about that. There's a lot of stuff on there, isn't it? Yeah, okay, let's see what's going on. So, we talked about data strategy. So, what you have to do, you have to establish the structures in your company to lay the foundation for that. Yeah, that can be technology. You need a data platform. A lot of companies approach us because it's one service we provide. Jens, we need a data platform. It's like, okay, but what is it what you're trying to achieve? Yeah, so they didn't think about what are the strategic use cases you have. What is it what the data platform will support? Don't get me wrong. Yes, you need a data platform. It's a good idea, but it's even a better idea to think beforehand. What is it what you want to achieve with that data? So so we have basically two approaches. Top down, you need to lay the foundation. You need a data platform. Yeah, you need a data governance so that you're treating your data as an asset, basically. Who's responsible for the data? Who makes decision about the data? What about your data steward? Who's checking the data quality? Yeah, so you need a framework to set up in your company to do that. However, if you just do the top-down approach, this is from our experience and many others as well, not really the right way. I've been working with a large German retailer. they did two mistakes. They first of all just focused on technology. They thought, okay, we need a data lake. 5 years ago, data lake was a tool you needed to have in a company. So they had a huge IT transformation program, 2 years. They developed a data lake. At the end of that program, IT became nervous because no one was using the data lake. Yeah. So in addition to laying the foundation in the company, and managers want to see return of invest as well, you need to start developing solutions. And what I've got the AI development cycle, because I'm coming from the AI background. So you have to innovate use cases. Yeah, you need to sit together with business. What are your problems? Where are your pain points? What are your visions? What are your goals? And how can your data, you have a help to get there? So you create a backlog of use cases. Not every use case will fly. Yes. So we have heard fail fast. If every use case would fly, you wouldn't have to fail. So, but then you need a methodology to prioritize that. Yeah, where to start? And a lot of companies approach us. Hey, we want to do a use case with you. Yeah, why do you want to use? Why do you want to do that particular use case? Oh yeah, because we had the idea. Yeah, so you need a systematic way to think. Okay, what are my metrics? How I measure that? With feasibility and impact and so on. You need to define that for your company or for your business unit, and then you do MVPs. Yeah, maybe you see. Okay, I do an AI solution here. Let's give you an example, not so abstract. I have been working with a consumer product company where we wanted to steer the sales force, using AI. Sounds like rocket science, but in the end you're just using all the data from the sales force from different regions and see what worked in the past to make recommendations for them. So they do not approach customers from a gut feeling. They still can if they want, but they get a recommendation. Here, your sales representative in Cologne, please. These are the most likely customers where you could go today with the biggest impact regarding certain metric, let's say revenue. And once you're there, do the following recommendations. Let's take these products in and throw these products out. So we built an MVP to see if it's possible. Can you generate these recommendations? And are they the right recommendations? Okay, tick the box. Nothing to fail, but then you can continue. How do you continue? You go into the validation. That's basically minimum viable product. Yeah, can be even Excel. You give them, you split the sales force. One part you're sending, until when do I have actually? 11:44, 45? Yeah, I think so, yeah. So you split basically the sales force, do A/B testing. Yeah, you send them out, okay, you do the recommendations from the AI, and you guys do business as usual. And then you measure, do a t-test. Does this work? Are you gaining more revenue? Or whatever your metric is. And then, once you've done that, you have to think, okay, you do not want to send around sales field force with Excel, but you want to integrate that into their tablet and develop a final solution. So this is basically the AI development cycle. And why is it so important to do both? Because on that journey, you learn massively. You build up skills in your company. We talked about culture. How do you get the change management done that the sales representative says, okay, I follow that recommendations, or you say, well, bollocks, it's like, I do it business as usual. So you incorporate them in the development process. Yeah, you cherry pick some people, you learn from them, they give feedback. They can give you feedback in the MVP phase, they can give you feedback in the POC phase. And so basically there's a basic feedback loop between that. You trigger culture change, you trigger understanding, and once a business leader has seen, that's actually how that works, it's less likely to say, okay, do not believe in machine learning. Also, you might find out that you have a use case backlog. Some of the use cases might need unstructured data and a data lake, but you might see in the very first phase, or they're not really flying these use cases, they are less important. So this has an impact on the choice of technology maybe you would like to implement in your data warehouse, in your data platform or your data lake. Lighthouse projects. Yeah, you need something, you need to tell stories in the company, success stories. And this is basically, once you do that, you can start the transformation process in the company. You can broadcast the good news and you can win people, because without the people, you will not have a sustainable approach for that. And of course, management is looking for the return of invest, as I said earlier. In the end, not that complicated, huh? I'm out of control. Can you go to the next slide? Thanks. We're now in the top-down approach from the previous slide, so you can now even read the fonts in the deep dive. So what's the best practice for that? So you need to clarify your business needs. Yeah, you need to talk with the business wherever you are, in sales, in HR, in production, and so on. We perform maturity assessments. We look at the 4 dimensions and say, okay, where are you already good? Yeah, maybe you have already a good data platform, yeah? Or a good data culture, or good data team and skills. Where are gaps? Yeah, so you develop your data strategy, do a fit gap analysis, and think of an operating model connecting these 4 dimensions. How do you approach that in practice? Do you need a competence center, a center of excellence for data, who's going through the business units and jointly develops the use cases? Or do they do that individually? Yeah, these are questions you need to think about, what best for your context, for your company. And then you come out with a roadmap, and one point of the roadmap might be, okay, I need a data platform, or I need to start a data governance initiative, because data quality is still a huge problem for us. Can you go to the next slide, please? This is a hall of shame. It's just from our, it might be biased, it's from our experience what we see in our daily practice. So we see, there's a lot of talk about having a chief data officer in the company, and the reason for that is to have someone who's leading all the stuff. And I said it earlier, a lot of companies think it's task for the CIO or for the IT, but a lot of people say IT has enough trouble, and this is a full-time job to bring an organization to use the data. Yeah. So it might be a good idea to think of a leader for data, and someone who has the power and the responsibility to drive that forward. Data literacy, we talked about that, is, I think, it's no particular order, but this is a real big problem, as I said in the example earlier. Lack of management support and involvement. This is not me, see, it all hangs a bit together. Yes, the management is also lacking data literacy. If your management doesn't know what data value generation is and how you approach that, it's difficult to establish that in your company. Operating model, I talked about that. Yeah, how do you incorporate an AI team or BI team, a data team? Yeah, how does that look like? I think that number 5 is affecting every industry. If you build a house or if you need experts, these people are rare on the market, so it's even more important to put them into the right environment. I think 2012 or so, people said the most sexiest job on earth, data scientist. You heard about that. Yeah, it was great, but if it's so sexy, why are they churning so often? Yeah, why are they leaving every year to a new company? And the reason is because the operating model was not suiting them. Yeah, they have big ambitions, or they had big ambitions, but they didn't make an impact in the company. So I said, okay, I'll go somewhere else. Yeah, business not taking ownership of data and strategy. I think that's one of the key takeaways actually. The transformation is done from the business. Yeah, business is basically the one generating value through efficiency, new products, new revenues, and so on, and not technical leadership. A lot of people start, or a lot of companies start with business intelligence, and as a controlling, for instance, it's very quickly you reach very quickly the point where you need data from different departments, and then you see, okay, they have the silos in data, but also the silos in the mindset, basically, which is hindering them from proceeding. Insufficient focus on data literacy and change management. I hope it was clear. I mean, transformation always hurts. Yeah, why is a company doing a transformation? There must be a need for that, because a lot of things will change and it will hurt. And change management is, I think, key to have a sustainable effect on the company here. So that's why we actually also work with experts in the area of change management to address this particular need. And yeah, number 10, I've already said that. Also one of my favorite. Yeah, let's start with a data platform, because it's obvious. First, I need to collect the data and store the data, and then I will see. But then you have the data lake, and no one is using it, so might be not the best idea. Okay, the next slide, please. Yeah, let's come back to the beginning. So I hope I was able to give you some insights from our experiences. Yes, every company is facing challenges there. They are all boiling with water, and just the kind of problems they have differ. Yeah, if it's the Mittelstand, small to medium companies, big enterprises, they're all fighting to really leverage the value from data. We have seen it's not about technology, it's about people, data, processes, and technology. I hope that point came across. And there are some best practices. This is what we believe. You might have other experiences or other practices. I'm happy to find out in the conversations later. And I think that was the last slide. If you go to the next one, yeah. So thank you very much for your attention.